How do I know if reselling is for me? A few truths and an answer. So, I was writing a post recently on the biggest mistakes I made early in my reselling career, and it occurred to me that there are folks out there on the outside looking in, wondering if they should get into reselling. There are people out there, maybe even you, that see the YouTube videos, join the Facebook groups in the thrifting, picking community, and they wonder if all the hype that they hear is true. Can you really make all that money? They sometimes say. How do I know if reselling is for me? But what they are really asking is, how easy is it? Does it require a lot of work? Is this the magic bullet that will solve my money problems with little to no effort? And my answer is this. If you are looking to get into the reselling game, there are a couple hard truths you need to know. The reselling process is extremely active income. That's number one. To get into this game, you absolutely must know that this income generation method is very active. And what this means is basically this. If you're not out buying inventory, you need to be selling what you do have. I know this firsthand. Most people are not interested in getting up before day breaks on a Saturday morning to be first at a yard sale, where there might be a home run. Most people, Americans at least, enjoy sleeping in on the weekends. You want to be successful reselling? Well, imagine if every single Saturday you woke up and you were out of the house by 6:30 a.m. just to make it to a morning full, yes, I said morning full, of yard sales where you might not find anything of real value. That's a harsh reality that you need to be prepared for. You will have to drive a lot. Number two, you need a solid process of sourcing inventory, listing it, and getting rid of it. This process absolutely must include checks and balances that prevent the following. A. Inventory from taking over your house. B. Interference with your relationship or relationships. And C. From you going crazy. I cannot emphasize this point enough. This is the part that other resellers, they won't tell you about. Number three, you will lose money. This ties in with point number one, but it also stands on its own. Especially when you're first learning to resell, you'll make mistakes. You'll frequently buy items that you think are valuable, only to find out the rest of the world thinks that they're junk. This is part of the learning process, and it's critical for you to understand to move from the beginner level to intermediate to advanced. As you pick up experience, you'll innately avoid the poor buys and you'll focus on items that have more of a chance of you making back your money. You'll eventually begin to focus on high profit margin items, those where you invest less upfront and you stand to make way more. But all along the way to getting to that point of being experienced, you're going to lose money. I'm trying to keep it real with you. And if you think you're slicker than the average bear and you can't lose money, you're going into it all wrong. You will lose money as you pay for your experience in reselling. Scaling up your business. Number four, scaling up your business is incredibly difficult. Many have tried before you to scale up their businesses, hire employees, outsource the listing process and such. I'm not going to tell you it's impossible. I'll tell you it's absurdly difficult. Here's why. Because you are limited by the number of hours in a day. And as much fun as it is, there's only so much sourcing, photographing, listing, shipping that you can do in a given 24-hour period before you get tired of doing all of that. Shopping, listing, photographing, selling. You get tired of it. You can't do it 24 hours in a day. Most successfully scaled reselling businesses that I've seen, they consisted of entire families with dad going out and doing the sourcing, quarterbacking the rest of the other efforts. Typically in this setup, the wife handles listing and photography, and the dad fits shipping duties in while he's out sourcing. It's just what I've seen. I've seen it reversed. It doesn't really make a difference. gender roles. I'm not trying to pigeonhole anybody into one thing. But what I am saying is families do this. I've seen families do this. I've seen a few couples do it, but it's hard to maintain. The setup can work for full-time sellers or resellers, but it's often predicated on one single platform, one single selling platform. Usually it's eBay, sometimes it's Craigslist. But if you have your entire business on one site, that's a recipe for disaster. If that's your entire reselling business, it's going to be tough on your family, and it's going to be tough on you when and if they eventually kick you off. If and when they eventually kick you off. So don't get me wrong, I've definitely seen scaled up reselling businesses. I've definitely seen scaled up reselling businesses, but they were often eBay top heavy and stressful situations that were recipes for disaster. One successful situation I do remember pretty well, and that was a family. They purchased shoes in bulk and they sold them in large volumes at a local flea market. Basically, they had the thing on lock. They sold these things for way less than they were worth, but because they were selling so many pairs of shoes and they had tied up from the competition a standpoint, nobody else could buy them because they had their entire family there at Goodwill, kind of in charge of everything. They were pretty successful. I'm not hating on them. That was the way that they made it. It made sense for them. But that's hard to do. So the next thing, 5. The reselling community is getting more and more crowded. You need to consider that more and more people are trying to do exactly what you're trying to do on a day in, day out basis. It's hard. It's not that it's impossible. It's just that, people are getting hip to it. Everybody's out there doing it. So you need to be aware that, yes, everybody's out there doing it. And you can be successful, but it's just not the easiest thing. Because there's so many other people out there. People are starting to learn about how to do it. And you got to be aware there's a lot of competition. 6. Most people are eventually going to burn out from reselling. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and it's tiring. Going back to point number 1, the reselling process is extremely active. That means it's not as passive as sitting there writing a book and then waiting for things to pop off. It is you going out there every single day, busting your ass. That's really what it comes down to. You got to be first at a yard sale. That means you got to go to a Goodwill. You got to go there every single day. You got to go pick up the items, go take them home, photograph them, clean them up, list them, just go out and ship them. I mean, you got to do that day in, day out. You got to really bust your ass to make it doing this. So is there money in it? Hell yes, there's a lot of money in it. But just know that if you are doing eBay and Craigslist and reselling right, you're hustling. Meaning, if you're hustling, you're subject to burnout. So if you have really strong processes in place, you can prevent, burnout. But most people, they are going to burn out. And you're going to see that if you're reselling for any length of time, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, or 10 years, you are going to see people go from coming every day out there to not coming every day to not coming at all. That's a reality. So in terms of how do you know if reselling is for you? I gave you the truths. Let me give you the answer. If you can deal with those 6 truths and you can come up with processes that are going to help you in keeping your sanity, not pushing other people away, in terms of making the reselling process a little more passive for yourself, understanding that you're going to lose money, that help you scale up your business while avoiding a lot of the pitfalls of competition. If you can do those things and come up with processes that will help your business, reselling is for you. If you can't come up with any strong, solid processes that are going to impact your business in a meaningful way, that are going to keep you sane and keep people from leaving, you, reselling is not for you. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Mr. Shoe Guy here on